So I had the divine revelation that I need to let go of my past. Yes. I grew up with a very traumatic background that I...
Did you?
Well, I used my permission slip
yes.
to believe that my traumatic life made me who I am today.
And now you know that's not necessarily so.
Yes.
All right.
So,
however,
yes.
that doesn't invalidate that it brought you to the understanding that you don't have to lock into it anymore. Yes? So
yes.
you have used a past you now no longer have. All right.
So so a couple months ago, I felt like I need to let go of all of this. I need to let go of my childhood to
yes.
truly become the person I am today.
Yes.
But then, as stated before, I use it as my permission slip.
Yes.
So if I am truly in love with myself, like I think I am, do I need to let go of that past to help me to evolve into the person I want to be? Or can I hold on to my trauma?
Do you wish to hold on to your trauma?
I think it depends on the moment. You know, like
well,
in
yes,
this moment, I'm
decision.
so happy. Like I'm so happy and I'm so grateful for my family
all right.
and all of the chaos.
If you
but other times I hate it.
If you believe that you need the trauma as a permission slip, then you'll hold on to it. If you believe you don't need it anymore to be the person that you prefer to be, then you won't hold on to it. It's that simple. You can always recall the idea of the so-called past without necessarily being controlled by it. Just because you are aware of it doesn't mean that it affects you. It can be a neutral observation. This was the path I took. I validate it for bringing me where I am today, but I in no way, shape, or form, even though I might neutrally observe that trauma was involved, need to hold on to the vibrational energy of the trauma in order to be who I prefer to be. So you can do both as long as you neutralize the idea and you don't necessarily need it to feel like it's affecting you anymore. Unless, again, that's what you prefer at the moment because you don't necessarily believe that you can do it any other way. But that's up to you.
Okay. So either way, it won't hold me back from getting to where I want to go.
As long as you know it will not hold you back, then no, it won't.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next question. So we all know this is an illusion, that we're dreaming this reality. So
yes.
where do other people play into this? Are other people real? Are
yes.
they just me? Like,
the versions of them you interact with are created by you out of your consciousness. That doesn't mean they're not real in their own right. And they're creating their version of you to appear in their reality by a shared agreement on a higher level. So that you can have an experience of interacting with them, but you are the one creating the simulations that you interact with as your versions of them. Their versions of themselves may be very different.
So am I manifesting those actions or creating those actions?
You are creating your part of attracting yourself into any scenario where they appear to be taking a particular action, but you have to discern why you're creating that for your own reasons, while they may be creating it for their reasons. You have to take just responsibility for your part of the creation and use it in the best possible way you can.
So is what makes something true what I believe to be true? Or is it all?
Yes, except for the idea of what we call the 5 laws. Because that is a literal description of the nature and structure of existence itself, and those can't change. But everything else is a perspective, a belief, an opinion.
Okay, so
yes.
So it all exists, but it's what I draw my attention to that's going to exist in my reality, correct?
Yes, and that will be at that moment your truth.
Okay. So the more I pay attention to my truth, will I get farther and farther away from the 2 other beliefs? How is this making sense?
You mean a negative-based belief?
Like if one person's saying one thing, another person is saying another thing, and I'm choosing to believe this.
Yes.
The more I focus on believing this, is the farther I'm getting away from the chaos of both of those choices.
Yes. If the belief that you are buying into doesn't contain the idea of needing chaos, then you won't experience it. Remember that there is one thing, there is another thing, but what you're choosing, even though it may seem to be a combination of the two is actually its own reality. Does that help?
It does help.
All right.
Couple more things. Give me 1 second. Why do I talk this way?
Why do you talk what way?
The way that I'm talking. You know, people are like, are you from New York? Is it a speech impediment? What is this?
How the fuck should I know?
I didn't know if, like, maybe it's from, like, a past life. I'm, like, carrying on, like, maybe a past accent, you know?
Everything is present, but you might be connecting to another person who speaks that way because for some reason you believe it helps you get your point across more clearly.
Except no one hears me, but that's okay.
I beg your pardon?
Nothing. See, exactly. Okay. I appreciate you. Okay.
And we deeply appreciate you. You are unique. Enjoy your uniqueness. Enjoy your expression. It may not always be this way, but for now, obviously, you believe it needs to be. It serves you in some way, shape, or form.
So I have a lot of childlikeness, and I choose not to let that go, because I feel I feel this deep connection to children. I feel children know the way.
Yes, in a sense, they do.
So I have gone down the path of always working with children.
All right.
And my dream is I want to create my own school of consciousness.
Go right ahead. Nothing is stopping you.
Okay. So I'm still on my path.
All right.
All right. And I'll finish up. Who is Anderson? Do you know?
Anderson?
Yes.
You have to be more definitive. There are many people on your planet named Anderson.
Is there a connection?
Is this something that you have discovered within yourself by stretching your consciousness out?
Yes.
Then for now, it can be considered the idea of a guide.
Okay.
What does the feeling do for you when you make that connection?
Love.
All right. So it's giving you an opportunity to recognize the state from which to come in everything that you do in your life. Especially loving yourself as much as you possibly can. Yes?
Yes.
All right.